He will open up the main card, which begins at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, ESPN Deportes, and the Plus, ESPN Plus, from Brooklyn, New York, vis-a-vis Puerto Rico. He's fighting Lanell Bellows, who has never been knocked out as a professional. So his toughest test today. Please welcome Edgar Berlanga. Edgar, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell everybody on the call, so your mindset coming into what is on paper by far your biggest test today?
My mindset is like always, I worked hard in the gym, man, and that's what every fighter should be doing, and like as far as for me, man, just putting in the hard work in the gym so that way I know going into the fight, my mind is 100% prepared to go those rounds, if we ever do, which will eventually happen, and I've just been working extremely hard.
You've talked about it, right? It's like you talked about preparing to go the rounds, even though you've never been past the first round. I mean, how tough is it when you've never gone past the first round to have that mindset that, I have to train for 8, 10, 12 rounds if need be?
You have to have, first, you have to be humble, and 2, you have to know that it's going to come. I know that I'm not going to be able to rely on my power, So this is why, like I said, I always say, I train as if I'm fighting for a championship fight every fight. I got my strength and conditioning coach here at Scooter as well, that he pushes me every single day in the gym, to that level. So that way, when we go those extra rounds, all the critics that's been talking like, oh, we want to see him in the 4th, we want to see him in the 2nd, we want to see him in the 8th, it's gonna be a walk in the park, because of my conditioning.
And our first question, we go to Mark Wicker from down in Southern California. Mark, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hi, what do you know about this particular guy, and what challenges do you think he might bring you that might get you to show more of your repertoire?
He's gonna come right at me. He's that type of fighter. He's smaller than me. He's a smaller guy, so I know he's gonna bring the pressure. He's gonna try to bring the fight to me. I don't see him trying to box me because I'm the bigger man. That'll just be real stupid of him and a crazy game plan if they're trying to do that. Unless they're trying to just survive the first round. But he's 20-5 with 13 knockouts. He's been in the ring for a very long time. He's older than me. He has experience. He's a veteran. And man, I'm ready in there to go and do what I do best, man.
Thank you.
I have to remember to unmute myself in order to get the questions going. So thank you, Mark. And now we go to Carlos Toro. Carlos, please go ahead when ready.
Thank you, Edgar, for taking time to talk to us. I don't know how much you pay attention to the sanctioning bodies rankings, but you're ranked number 9 by the WBO and number 11 by the WBA. Is that something that you kind of look at and think to yourself that maybe you could be maybe down the road closer to a world title shot than maybe you would have initially thought? Or do you still kind of look at this part of your career as sort of a developmental stage where you just want to get the experience and get rounds in so that when you do get that title fight, you're more ready now, however long it takes you to get there?
Yeah, man, I'm 23 years old. I'm still developing as a fighter. I know I'm a killer, but I also know that there's killers at 168. So for me, I just want to get 150% prepared for when the time comes. Like I said, I'm 23. I got the world in my hands right now. I'm a hot, young prospect in the world. I got Puerto Rico behind me. And, right now I'm knocking everybody out, man. I just want to enjoy my career. And then eventually we're going to step up those big fights, because that's what eventually I want. I want the big paydays. I want the big fights, and eventually it'll come. But as of right now, we moving at stepping stone, Everything is slowly, Rome wasn't built in a day. So we working and we just crafting, getting my craft better and better each and every day.
Thank you, Carlos. And now I believe, Xavier, you're from Brooklyn, so from your neck of the woods, Edgar, Xavier Porter. Xavier, please go ahead.
What's going on, Edgar? How you feeling, man?
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
Xavier.
Salute. Yeah, salute,
How are you, brother?
Big Dave, salute. How you feeling, brother?
I got a killer here, right?
Facts, all day, every day.
And we got 12 rounds in us.
Hey, you got a whole lot more. Go 15 if you need to. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
right.
So my question to you, Edgar, you got the whole city, brother. You got, like you just mentioned, you got the whole Puerto Rico behind you. You got the whole city. My question to you is, this fight particularly with Lionel Bellows, everybody is on paper is saying this might be your toughest fight. Can you share your thoughts on your opponent as well as your training and your readiness to take over the division, whether it be at 168, if you can make 170, 160 or even 175? Because my guy, you are killing it out here in the streets. You know what I mean?
They always, the last fight they said that was my toughest opponent to date, and you seen what happened. Like I said, like I tell everybody, I don't cut no corners, man, in that gym. Because when you cut corners, you're gonna have to pay for it under them lights. And I've seen fighters cut corners. Don't do a full camp. Just cut corners, man, during camp, and it shows in the ring. When the lights go on. So that's my biggest fear, man, is to be unprepared for a fight. So that's why I take my craft very serious. I take the sport very serious, to continue to build myself. And each and every fight, I get better in the gym. I spar better opponents, and I just put in a lot of work, man. And obviously it shows the day of fight night.
Thank you, Xavier. Marcus Vegas, you're next.
Edgar, man, I hope you're doing well. You have a knockout streak now, and there's this growing expectation from fans that every time you step in the ring, you're supposed to provide a spectacular knockout. I could see that. I've seen it in the past with other fighters that it develops some sort of pressure on them. How do you navigate that, the expectation that once you step in the ring, you got to knock that guy out? And how do you handle that expectation and pressure?
It's no pressure. There's no pressure whatsoever. The people's gonna talk. I let the people talk. Oh, we need a first round, or oh, can he go past the first round? I let them talk. That's what they're there for. The critics, the media, everybody. You guys. That's what you guys. That's boxing. And like I said, I just focus on myself and focus on the game plan, and I execute the game plan. I never go in there. Obviously, I go in there looking to hurt the guy, yeah, because I don't want him to hurt me. I'd rather hurt him before he hurts me. And I always had that mindset since I've been a pro, like, man, it's just, there's no pressure, man. Like, I go in that ring, every fight I go in the ring knowing that if we got to go those rounds, we're going to go those rounds. And the last fight, I even thought, I said, oh, probably I'm gonna go a couple rounds with this guy. I thought he was gonna take me a couple rounds, but you see what happened, man. He had to pay for his mistakes.
There's a lot of attention on you now, a lot of newfound fame. How are you handling that attention and all that?
It comes with the territory. I've seen it happen with a whole bunch of fighters, the greats, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, all these guys. Everybody want to be next to a winner. Especially a young kid at my age, 23 years old, that's Puerto Rican, from Brooklyn, from Lower East Side, from New York City, and that's knocking everything out in the first round. So it's bound to happen that everybody's going to want to get next to me, man. So I know that in my mind that I got to just continue to win and, continue to just execute the game plan, man, and just be the best I could be.
Thank you very much, Marcos. And while I scroll, we will go ahead, Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, you're unmuted. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ivan. Hello, Edgar. It's always nice to talking to you. You have Puerto Rico behind you. You are doing a great career. But sooner or later, you need to fight against a big Mexican name. We're talking about Canelo, of course, Benavidez. Could you imagine these big fights? Because I can imagine another great rivalry like Mexico and Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I've been talking about the Canelo fight for about a couple months already. And I know it's going to happen. It's got to happen. If I continue to win in beautiful fashion and just keep doing what I do best, man, I know that fight is going to happen with me and Canelo Alvarez. He's Mexican, I'm Puerto Rico. He has a big country behind him. I have a big country behind me. And like you said, is one of the biggest rivalries in boxing today. And you know, Benavidez is another guy that I'm looking forward to stepping in the ring with eventually in the future. You know, it's just boxing, man, and these fights gotta happen. You know, it's good for the sport. It's good for the culture.
Edgar, but what can you tell to the people that mentioned that you are not ready, not even for Canelo or Benavidez? What can you tell?
No, different level. No, I know for a fact that if I was to step in the ring with them now, I'd give them problems, you know. But right now, it's just a stepping stone. Like I said, you know, I gotta prove myself. I know I gotta prove myself in order to step in that ring with them because they had to pay their dues. You know, they had to fight the best to get to where they at, and that goes for me too. I have to fight the best to get to where they at, and eventually the fight is gonna happen.
Thank you very much. And now we will go ahead to Adriana Jimenez. You should be unmuted, Adriana. So please go ahead when ready.
Edgar, how you doing? I'm just going to kind of piggyback off that question because I wanted to see what your dream match was, and you kind of mentioned the names that I had in mind with Benavidez, with Canelo. So moving up in the ranks rather quickly, where do you see yourself, or where do you rank yourself then?
Right now?
Yeah.
I know I'm one of the hottest prospects in the country right now. You know, I'm 14-0 with 14 knockouts, all in the first round. They keep trying to step up the opponents little by little, and I'm still knocking them down. I'm a young superstar. You know, I got the image, I got the charisma, I can fight. I'm knocking everything out, and I got a country behind me. So, you know, what more can I say?
So is the fight that from the fights that you mentioned with the
Adriana, sorry. Ask your question again. You accidentally muted yourself.
No worries. From the fights that we just mentioned, is the Canelo fight the dream match for you?
Oh yeah, of course. You know, that's a fight that's gonna happen. It's gotta happen. He knows it. The world is gonna know it. You know, his country's gonna know it. My country's gonna know it. You know, it's a fight to be made, God willing, in the future. You know, like I said, I just gotta keep proving myself, keep knocking them down, and you know, the fight will happen eventually.
Thank you very much, Adriana. We have a few more questions for Edgar because, as you can see, he is in the gym, so he's got a couple more shakeouts before he flies out here to Las Vegas. Now we move to Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hi, Edgar. I'm curious. During your time as an amateur, obviously you had a lot of success, national championships and so on. As an amateur, did you feel that once you got to the pro game that your punches would have the type of power that they've obviously had?
Yeah, when my first pro fight, I remember it was in Mexico, and I knocked the dude out so fast, man, and I was like, holy crap. I was just lost. Like, I walked back to the corner and I seen the ref like waving it off. I'm like, damn, so fast? I didn't really know. I'm like, do I really hit this hard? Then the second fight, again, a couple minutes into the first round, knocked the guy out. Like, wait, hold on. Do I really hit hard? Third fight comes, again, put the guy out. I'm like, oh, yeah, nah. This is different. You know, and then eventually in sparring, I'll knock guys out in sparring. And it was like, holy crap, like, no, I'm really hitting hard. And people would just tell me like, yo, you're only 18 years old. Just imagine when you hit 23, 24, 25, how when your man strength comes in, it's going to be ridiculous. And look, I'm here today still knocking them out.
Talking about the source.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, talking about the source of your power, is it a combination of the transition from the amateurs to the pros and now being a pro, it's just your style fits better? Or is it also the fact that you are starting to get that manpower, a little bit of both?
Yeah, it was a transition. You know, the amateurs was real about points and how many punches you throw. And, you know, it's only 3 rounds, 3 minutes. And then, you know, you come into the pros and it's like everything slows down completely. You know, there's a lot of more thinking. It's chess, not checkers. You know, there's a lot more thinking, man. There's a lot more setting up punches. You know, it's a 12-round fight. You know, eventually you're going to get to that 12-round fight. So it's just a lot different, man, than amateurs. All
right. Thank you very much. And a couple more left. So we'll go back to Mark Wicker, please.
You talked about how surprised you were when you had those early first round knockouts in your first few fights. Are there times when the fights end so quickly that you still have a lot of pent up energy and you feel like, you know, sparring even after the fight or running around just to burn it off?
Say it again.
You talked about how difficult, about how surprised you were the first few fights because they ended so quickly. When you have these quick knockouts, or sometimes do you feel like you still have a lot of pent up energy that you have to go burn off all of a sudden?
Nah, because people forget, you know, they say, oh, you knocked the guy in the first round, man. But it's like they don't see what's happening behind closed doors in the gym and sparring. You know, all the rounds that I'm putting in sparring and in the gym and strength conditioning, you know, I put a lot of wear and tear on my body, you know, so I take about like 2 weeks off, man, you know, and just enjoy myself, you know, enjoy my family, you know, rest my body, and then I'm right back in the gym.
Thank you very much, Mark. And before we head out, Edgar, I think you're coming to Vegas tomorrow. Just final thoughts on, you know, sort of the rise you've had this year and what the fans can expect from you come Saturday night.
Like always, man, expect fireworks. You know, I'm an exciting fighter. I'm a boxer puncher. So, you know, I just need the fans to tune in October 17th, man. You know, get your popcorn ready. You know, get your fight parties ready back at home. You know, it's on ESPN, Las Vegas, Nevada, MGM Grand. And, you know, just stay tuned, man. There's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a big night, a big fight card, you know, and it's going to be an amazing night. And just tune in, like I said. And, you know, I'm dedicating this fight to all the ladies out there that's suffering from breast cancer. You know, this fight is going to be dedicated to them. So I just need everybody to tune in.
Thank you so much for joining us, Edgar. This concludes the undercard and co-feature portion of the Lomacheko Lopez conference call. Quick reminder, program reminder, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, all at once at 10 p.m. Eastern. That starts with Edgar's fight. At 7:30, we have the undercard, which will be on ESPN Plus. ESPN will join in the coverage for the undercard following the conclusion of the preceding football game. So yeah, and programming notes in the UK, it will be on Fight TV. That's £9.99. In Mexico, I believe in Mexico, Central, South American territories, our friends over at Space will be showing the fight. So pretty much everywhere in the world, boxing fans will be able to watch this fight. Thank you again for joining us today. And you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you all the fighters for joining us.
Thank you, guys.